Hello and welcome to the Habit Coach Podcast, the bite-sized podcast filled with quick and easy actionable habits. Remember, great habits create that awesome life. I am Ashdin Doctor, your habit coach. And today's fun fact of the day has to do with shellfish. Did you know that lobsters taste with their legs and chew their food with their stomachs? You see, the hair on the lobster's feet and legs is chemosensory, which means that they respond to different chemical changes around. Basically, the same way that we taste or smell. And then they have a set of teeth behind their eyes in their stomach. And this is called the gastric mill and is used to grind down and chew the food as it gets into the stomach. Now, today's podcast has nothing to do with lobsters or tasty feet or chewy tummies. We're going to be talking about a word that sounds very similar to shellfish. We're going to talk about the word selfish, being selfish. Now, I've already done a podcast on why we must all be selfish years ago. And this episode is a reminder of that, plus a very important habit that I learned recently. When I heard about the concept that I'm about to share with you, I was reminded of a story my grandmother used to tell me. So apparently, my great-grandfather, her dad, came from a very wealthy family, multiple horse-drawn carriages, etc. And he was a famous builder in Bombay. In fact, there are buildings still standing called Doctor House that were built by him. However, he was a very selfless person. He was famous for loaning money to his friends. Most never paid him back. Now, my grandmother used to tell me that at one point, their financial situation was so bad that they only had bread and water to eat. She and all the kids were put to work to earn money. And yet, he would be loaning out money. This obviously bankrupted the entire family and he passed away with no money. My grandmother was so scared by the story that she must have repeated this to me about 1,000 times. The point I want to drive home is that there is nothing wrong with sharing what you have, but only share and give when you have a surplus. When you have more than you need, when you have more than enough. Otherwise, you are doing an injustice to yourself. We must all help each other. However, only when we have first been selfish enough to take care of ourselves. While my great-grandfather's example was about money, the principle applies to all aspects of our life. Our energy, our time, our emotions, our contacts, etc. I want you to reach a stage where you are content with what you have, where you feel you have enough, where all your needs are taken care of, and only then should you give. Now, many of us are guilty of giving our time away. We have no time for our own work and life. And yet, when someone asks us to meet them, we agree. As your habit coach, I want you to realize that money is not the only resource that you have to be bankrupt in. You can have a bankruptcy in energy and time too. So guard your resources and give away only the surplus. You will know when you have a surplus by seeing how content you are with what you have. If you're constantly feeling the need for more, you do not have a surplus. And this is when you should be selfish. This means that you can get a surplus by getting more of the resource or then by needing less of the resource. You can decide how to choose it. Only then should you give from your surplus. So your super simple habit starts by first being selfish, receiving as much as you need. Do not even think about being selfless till your needs have been met. Only after that, give away what you're in a surplus of. Give it all away if you want, but only the surplus. Now, if you like this podcast, don't forget to check out other interesting podcasts on the IVM network. You can listen to us on the IVM Podcast app or ivmpodcast.com. You can also follow us on social media. We are at IVM Podcast on Twitter and Instagram. If you want to reach out to me, I am at Ashdin Doc on Twitter and Instagram. We have a brand new habit coaching online course, quizzes, videos, and a lot more on the website awesome180.com. So check it out now.